In every bite of food we take today lies a story thousands of years in the making. It's a story we often forget, lost in the simple, satisfying act of eating. But it is there. In the crust of our daily bread, we can find the echo of the world's first farmers, patiently tending their fields of ancient grain under a Neolithic sun. In the deep ruby red of our wine, we can taste the legacy of Roman legionaries and medieval monks who perfected the art of the vineyard. This is a culinary tapestry, woven from countless threads of human experience, each meal a silent testament to a history that is both epic and deeply personal. And at the very beginning of this story, there is fire. Before its discovery, our world was one of raw survival. Our ancestors foraged for what they could, their diet limited to tough, fibrous plants and the raw flesh of the hunt. Food was purely fuel, often difficult to digest and fraught with danger. But then, a spark of lightning, a friction of wood, and everything changed. The harnessing of fire was humanity's first and perhaps greatest culinary revolution. Suddenly, the inedible became edible. Heat unlocked nutrients, neutralized toxins, and tenderized meat, fundamentally altering our biology and allowing our brains to grow. But it did more than that. It gave us flavor. That first piece of cooked meat, sizzling and smoky, was a revelation. It was the birth of cuisine. It transformed the solitary act of foraging into the communal act of cooking. Around the flickering warmth of the hearth, we didn't just eat. We shared, we communicated, we formed bonds. We became human. This was a story of fire, flavor, and survival, intertwined in the most profound way imaginable. From the smoky caves of our ancestors, where the scent of roasting meat first mingled with the scent of wood smoke, the journey of food began to accelerate. We see the evidence etched onto the walls of these ancient dwellings, paintings of the hunt, a testament to the central role food played in their lives. But humanity was not destined to remain in the cave. The next great leap was out into the open, onto the fertile plains. The agricultural revolution was not a single event, but a slow, dawning realization that we could shape the world to feed us. We learned to domesticate wild grasses into wheat, barley, and rice. We tamed wild animals, turning them into livestock. For the first time, we had a surplus. We had security. This security was the very bedrock upon which civilization was built. Villages grew into towns, and towns into the first great cities. Today, we live in a world of almost unimaginable abundance. Our kitchens are gleaming laboratories of culinary technology, and our markets are global emporiums, offering the fruits and spices of every continent. A single meal can contain ingredients that have travelled thousands of miles, crossing oceans and deserts to reach our plate. Yet, for all our modern sophistication, the ancient echoes remain. The fundamental alchemy of transforming raw ingredients into a nourishing meal, the profound human need to gather and share, connects our bustling modern kitchens directly to those first fires lit in the dawn of time. Because food has not only fed us, it has shaped our identities, our cultures, and our very civilization. Think of the recipes passed down from a grandmother, a tangible link to our heritage, each measurement a whisper from the past. These are the dishes that define our childhoods, the flavors of home that offer comfort and a sense of belonging. On a grander scale, food is the lifeblood of culture. It is the centerpiece of our most sacred rituals and our most joyous celebrations. It is the symbol of hospitality, an offering of peace and friendship. And it has been a powerful engine of history. The quest for salt and spices redrew the maps of the world, launched fleets of explorers into the unknown and built vast, powerful empires. Wars have been fought and fortunes made, all in the name of flavor. Tonight we embark on a journey through time. We will peel back the layers of history to reveal the extraordinary stories hidden in our everyday meals. We will uncover the living recipes that have traveled across centuries, surviving wars, migrations, and the collapse of empires to find a place on our plates today. We will taste the bread that fueled the Roman legions, discover the secrets of the medieval spice trade, and understand how a humble tuber from the Andes, the potato, could change the fate of nations. This is the story of us, told through the food we eat, a story of survival, of artistry, of community, the story of food. Welcome to Learning Life Content. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Your support helps us grow and motivates us to bring you more fascinating and enriching stories. Our journey begins not in a kitchen, but in the flickering twilight of a world 2 million years past. Before the flame, survival was a raw, brutal affair. Food was tough, often dangerous, and offered little more than basic sustenance. But then a spark of lightning, a friction of wood, and everything changed. Fire was not merely warmth against the encroaching dark, it was the world's first kitchen, the first great culinary tool. The searing heat transformed tough, sinewy flesh, breaking down fibres into something tender, something digestible. This simple act of cooking unlocked a wealth of new nutrients, energy that would fuel the very growth of our brains, setting our ancestors on the path to becoming human. The hearth became the heart of the clan, a place of gathering, sharing and safety, the first dining room. But human curiosity is a restless engine. Soon the hunt was supplemented by the harvest. Foraging in the wild grasslands, our ancestors gathered wild grains, seeds and flavorful leaves. At first, perhaps, they were ground into a coarse, unpromising gruel. But when this simple paste met the hot stones by the fire, something magical occurred. The first bread was born, dense, unleavened, yet revolutionary. With it came the discovery of flavor, a crushed leaf of wild mint, a sprinkle of pungent seeds. These were not just additions, they were the first aromatic whispers of what we now call cuisine. Survival was slowly but surely transforming into culture. This slow evolution took a giant leap forward as humanity settled along the fertile banks of the Nile and the Euphrates. The agricultural revolution provided a bounty previously unimaginable, a surplus that allowed for the birth of cities, of writing, of civilization itself. And with this new stability came new technology. The invention of the clay pot changed everything. No longer was food simply scorched over a flame. Now it could be gently simmered, its flavors coaxed into a harmonious whole over hours. In the bustling homes of ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, the air would have been thick with the comforting aroma of humble stews. Lentils and barley, enriched with the foundational flavors of garlic and onion, bubbled away in earthenware pots. Bread, the very staff of life, was so central it was used as currency to pay the laborers who built the pyramids. These were recipes born of necessity, but perfected by time. A tapestry of taste so fundamental, so deeply satisfying, that their echoes resonate in our kitchens to this day. Every time we enjoy a hearty lentil soup or a piece of rustic barley bread, we are tasting a direct link to our most ancient ancestors. As the great civilizations of antiquity rose from the dust, so too did a hunger for something more than mere sustenance, a desire for flavor. This yearning for the exotic, for a taste of a world beyond the horizon, gave birth to the first great arteries of global trade, the spice routes. For millennia, long before the first European sails broke the skyline of the New World, caravans of camels, the ships of the desert, traced dusty paths across Asia and the Middle East. They carried not just silk and incense, but the true treasures of the East. Cinnamon from Sri Lanka, pungent cloves from the Moluccas, and the golden warmth of Indian turmeric. These were not simply flavorings. They were currency, medicine and magic, worth more than their weight in gold. And in the kitchens of these ancient empires, these spices were woven into the very fabric of cultural identity. In India, the art of the masala, the intricate blending of spices, was perfected. Each blend was a secret, a family heirloom, a prescription for health, and a symphony of flavour that defined the subcontinent's cuisine. Far to the west, the Roman Empire was awash in the pungent, salty tang of garum. This fermented fish sauce, brewed in coastal factories and shipped in distinctive clay amphorae to the furthest corners of the empire, was the essential taste of Rome. It seasoned the soldier's ration and the emperor's banquet alike. Meanwhile, in Han Dynasty China, cooks sought balance, a harmony of flavors reflecting the cosmic principles of yin and yang. The numbing, citrusy heat of the Sichuan peppercorn wasn't just a sensation. It was a philosophical statement on a plate. For centuries, this flow of flavor was controlled by a handful of merchants, making spices a luxury for the powerful. But the insatiable European appetite for these distant tastes would ultimately redraw on the map of the world. The quest to bypass the old routes, to find a direct sea path to the spice-rich Indies, launched 1,000 ships. It was this ambition that inadvertently sparked a culinary revolution of unimaginable scale. When Columbus and those who followed him stumbled upon the Americas, they initiated the greatest biological and cultural exchange in human history. The holds of their returning galleons were filled with botanical wonders: fiery chilies, luscious tomatoes, the bitter, complex cocoa bean, and the humble, transformative potato. These voyagers of the palate crossed the vast oceans, bringing with them ingredients that would fundamentally rewrite the world's recipe books. The integration was not immediate. In Europe, the tomato was first grown as an ornamental curiosity, its vibrant red fruit suspected of being poisonous. But slowly, inevitably, these newcomers found their place. Can we even conceive of Italian cuisine without the rich, sun-sweetened embrace of the tomato in its pasta sauces? Or Indian and Thai food without the fiery kick of the chili pepper, an ingredient that arrived only 500 years ago, supplanting the native black pepper? Imagine a world with no Belgian chocolate, no Irish stew as we know it. The arrival of these ingredients didn't just add new dishes, it created entirely new culinary identities, giving birth to the very traditions we now hold most dear. And yet, some recipes never changed. Mexican tortillas, Indian rotis, Middle Eastern flatbreads, all still made almost exactly as they were thousands of years ago. These are the living fossils of food, connecting us directly to our ancestors. Today, chefs fuse ancient recipes with modern science, while families preserve grandmothers' traditions. In every stew, bread or roasted dish, the past whispers to the present. Food is not just taste, it is heritage, memory, and the story of who we are. Thank you for watching Learning Life content. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us grow and motivates us to bring you more fascinating and enriching stories.